Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adrian and today we are doing another My Week in Books, what I have been reading this week, how I've been enjoying it, and just a general check-in with how my week's been going. Welcome back if you're a regular, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can see more of my content. So this week, I started this week being about halfway through the Tropic of Serpents, which is book 2 in the Memoirs of Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. I finished that this week in a couple of days after I checked in with you guys. I really enjoyed this. This was a much more enjoyable read for me than A Natural History of Dragons was. So for book 1, A Natural History of Dragons, I gave it 3.5 stars, I believe. Tropic of Serpents, I've given 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this a lot more. A good chunk of that is because it's a little bit less natural historian, it's a little bit less biologist. It's a lot more about the anthropology of what's going on and about navigating social situations in different cultures and in different countries, and I really enjoyed that. Isabella Camhurst, Lady Trent herself, is still a great protagonist. I really like the authorial voice that we get from her. It's very clearly her telling her story in her memoirs, and I really enjoy the tone we get and the feel we get for Isabella. So Tropic of Serpents was all the things I liked about Natural History of Dragons, but just refined, just a little bit better. And actually I've gone from thinking that this is going to be a series that I enjoy and is fine, to actually thinking that this might be a series that I really love. I hope that it does continue in that manner. I hope this is a series that continues to improve and improve, that it builds on its previous instalments. And I do hope that we continue to focus on those anthropological and sociological issues of dealing with different cultures and different nations, as well as the political side of that, as well as dealing with the dragons and the natural historian aspects, which is also a lot of fun. But I do think that there was a much more interesting sort of travel log going on here, dealing with different cultures and different societies. And I think Marie Brennan navigated that really well. And this was particularly a much more interesting book, and it's got 4.5 stars for me, so that tells you that it was a really good read, and very much enjoyable for me. Last week I also told you that I was reading An Echo of Things to Come. I am still reading that very slowly. It has been a little bit put on the back burner just because that's been a physical read for me compared to some audiobook listens, so it's not been as quick a read for me. I am really enjoying it still. I'm only maybe 5 or 6 chapters in. Plodding through it slowly. You will get better and more conclusive updates on it as we keep going through it and as I keep reading through it. Hopefully I will continue to enjoy the series, the Lycanius trilogy, as much as I did the first book. And then the new thing I picked up on audio this week, having finished Tropic of Serpents, is Dragonfly Falling. Now this is book 2 in the Shadows of the Apt series by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Those of you who've been here for a while will know that I read my first Tchaikovsky book earlier this year and absolutely loved it. And from there I am really jumping into his work and massively enjoying Adrian Tchaikovsky as a writer. Shadows of the Apt is his debut series. Book 1 for me was a great read. This is Empire in Black and Gold. I really enjoyed it. It was a 4-star read for me, and I think actually the characters were some of the big things that pulled me through in that story. Dragonfly Falling book 2 seems to be expanding sort of the number of main characters we're dealing with. We are following a lot of the same characters we were in book 1, with a few more additions, and the world is really starting to open up. There's a lot more going on in terms of plot. It's a lot broader, a lot more intertwined, and it is very interesting. I'm currently only about 40% of the way through it or so, but am enjoying it a good deal. I can happily say that this is going to be a series I'm going to definitely read through the first arc of at least, coming in the next few months. I may well pick up the whole series at some point if it continues to hold my attention like it is currently, but it is just really nice that Tchaikovsky keeps producing books that I love, and he has such a long back list, such a big back catalogue of books that I have not read by him yet. I did pick up Dogs of War on sale recently, which I would love to get to as well. I've got Cage of Souls waiting for me as well by Tchaikovsky. So I'm just really looking forward to jumping in and continuing to wade through his back catalogue, hopefully not catching up with his writing anytime soon. Hopefully he will continue to pump out books so that I have more Tchaikovsky to go back to. And in reality, that's most of what I've read this week. I've not actually done much else reading. It's been a little bit of a weird reading week for me. One thing I have been doing though, and this is one of the reasons I've had a little bit less time to read, is I am finally this year, after having considered it many times, I am committing to doing Nanowrimo, which for those of you who don't know is the National Novel Writing Month. And the idea here is that whether you love writing and you've done it loads, or whether you've never tried to write a book before in your life, that you can commit to spending your November trying to write 50,000 words of a novel. So for me, this would be a massive commitment. It's something I've not really committed to before. I have dabbled with writing a little bit, but not hugely. But I really want to give it a proper go this year, and that means doing some planning. It means listening to some lectures, trying to build some ideas, build a world, build a bit of a plot, and it's something that is pretty new to me. So all in all, I've spent a good chunk of time considering, coming up with different ideas, trying to work out what I want to write about this November. It does mean that in November itself, maybe I will not be reading as many books as I would otherwise, because my reading time might be getting pushed into writing time. Now, the reason I'm really telling you guys this is for a little bit of accountability, because I know it will be really easy for me to think that I want to do this, commit to it, and then just drop out and not even really commit to it properly when we get there. So I am telling you guys this, one, so you guys know that I'm probably not going to be reading quite as much as I have been previously, but two, so you can call me out and tell me that I've forgotten about it, or ask me how I'm going, and actually there's some accountability for me to actively jump in and give this a go. So do keep in touch with me about that. Do ask me how that's going in my comments, and yeah, hopefully that is something I can commit to fully this year, because it will be fun for me, even if it doesn't lead anywhere in terms of getting published or even self-publishing, anything like that. Just the concept, the activity of writing a story for myself should be good for me, and should be a good fun exercise to commit to for at least a month. And if after that I realise it's not for me, great, fine, no worries. But if it's something I love and I enjoy, then wonderful. Hopefully you guys have found that interesting. If you've liked this video, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and hopefully I'll see you guys again soon.